Hello people! It's been time since I made a video where I'm talking. Yep, it's been mostly driving, but also it's been winter and now it's autumn or near summer in Norway. So it's time to start driving more outdoor. I prefer driving outdoor. I like to drive on-road indoor, but not that very often we have the opportunity to do that. But as you can see, I bought a new kit, and this is the Serpent Viper 990E. It's the 181 on-road or track car, but it's electric edition. The kit don't come with a user manual, but you can download a PDF on the internet, and then you have the latest edition. So I printed this, and I have it here. I prefer to have it in printed on paper when I'm gonna assemble the kit. It's gonna take some time for me to assemble this kit this time. Usually I can do this in 1 day or maybe 2 days, then I would probably have the complete car finished. But this time it's going to take me longer time, and that's because I have something that take most of my spare time now. Well, I'm going to show you in the end of the video, but or maybe I'm just gonna clip in a small bit here. Yep, so that's why I cannot spend so much time on my hobby any longer, because I also in full-time work. So driving RC cars is just something I do on my spare time. Most of my spare times now are occupied by my new son, Martin, and of course I can find some time. And also I found this very local asphalt area, a parking area, which is okay for driving at least 1/10 scale on road. So that's what I've done a few times, and when I can find time I'm gonna take and drive to the off-road tracks and maybe this bigger on-road asphalt area, because I also have a nitro track and I have a nitro GT Serpent car, the Porsche model you saw, Porsche. It's the one located here. This is nitro, and here we have a Mugen track nitro. So I'm gonna drive these cars also, and we also have a Serpent nitro that's gonna take on later as our X8. But okay, and here where I am living in Norway, we don't have 1/8 on-road track. So I'm using some asphalt locations, typically parking locations or some other asphalt locations. And the biggest problem is that you have to find a location where the asphalt is very even, no bumps or holes, or also on some parking areas they have this lightning, so you have all this tall lightning sticks, or what it's called, on the area. So that's not good either, because you can smash into them. So it's hard to find a good location, but also biggest problem is really the quality. The asphalt has to be very even and fine, and you don't want much sand or dust or small rocks on the asphalt. That's because these cars are belt driven. I can see if I find a picture here in the end of the car. You can see the car have the Spur gear here. In the previous model, the 989E, this Spur gear was in aluminium or metal. Now in this model 990E it's in plastic. They call it composite, but I call it just plastic. I guess that's because the plastic has less weight, so it's more easy for a motor and a car to get up to speed when all the gears are as light as possible. But when you drive on not on perfect conditions, where you have some dust and some small rocks, plastic can break off some teeth here. The pinion is of course in metal. Also the rear pulley in this model is plastic. In the previous model 999 it was also metal. I have ordered already, I got it also here in metal, the spur gear. But I've not done nothing with the rear pulley. Also the front pulley here you can get also in metal, but it comes in plastic. And all the other pulleys are also in plastic. So the biggest problem when driving in not perfect conditions where you have some dust and small rocks is that you can break teeth of this spur gear and pulleys if they are plastic, and also the belts. Not at least the belts will break. If you get some rocks inside here and you have hard on the throttle, of course you can break some belts. And also in the last video I posted, I was driving the X-Ray X4 2022 edition with belts on this near asphalt location. You saw I cracked, was it the rear belt? I cracked the rear belt on that car. But that was after some driving. I tried to brush the asphalt and also use this leaf blower, or what it's called, to get the asphalt as clean as possible. But it's hard when you are only one person and you are going with a small hand brush and trying to get the asphalt clean. But I brush it before I drive, and I hope it will get better and better as I drive here on this near location. But we can open this kit to see what we have here. It's not very exciting to see on the kit because it's just a bunch of plastic bags. But here I also have, let's see first where we have where is it? There we have it. I bought this steel spur gear. It's 42 tooth. This I will use, and with this spur gear I will try to use one of these pinions. I have a 20 tooth pinion and I have here 22 tooth pinion. I don't remember what was possible combinations there, but one of these should be okay. And of course you have to check also the final drive ratio, but I think it will be okay with this. I've already assembled the shocks. I always do that first. And if the car also comes with diffs, but this car don't have any diffs, but if a car that comes with also a diff, I also used to assemble the diffs. So I'll start with the shocks and the diffs, just because I hate to do it. So it's nice to just be finished with this. A bit odd, I downloaded the default setup, and the default setup said that the shocks should have 900 CST oil, but the kit comes with 1000 CST, but not a big difference for me. I don't think I'm gonna feel any difference. I'm not that experienced driver, so I'm just gonna use the 1000 CST. I already put that into the shocks. The other spare parts I bought when I ordered the car from Serpent is all the pulleys. So I got the pulley set front, I got the pulley set side, and I got the pulley set rear. And this is the rear pulley, and it's in plastic. In the previous model 989 it was in metal. So I'm gonna start with this, and if I see I destroy these too fast, I have to order the metal. Also the front pulley you can get in metal, but I'm gonna try to use the plastic first because they are much cheaper. So let's say you drive for 1 month and you maybe break one plastic pulley. That's alright, then you just shift it because it's more cheap and not so pricey in the long time. But as I said, the spur gear I'm gonna just shift. I also ordered spare belts. It's the this must be the front belt, I guess, and this is the rear belt, and then we have the mid belt. So that's, as I said, that's what usually I break when I'm driving on not perfect conditions, when you have some sand and some small rocks. That's the pulleys can lose teeth, and belt can break. So this was the only spare parts I ordered today. Of course, if you smash into something, you will break other parts like arms and hubs and yeah, links and everything. I also ordered the fan mount, and this fan mount, I believe it can take both. Is it 30 or 35 millimeter fan? It can take maybe 2 of these, and it can take one 40 millimeter fan. So I have one 40 millimeter fan here that I'm going to use with this fan mount. I'm not sure how easy it is to use this fan mount, if it's space enough, but I'm gonna try that. Serpent lists this as an option part, so I'm gonna try to use that. And here we have, of course, all the other parts to the car. So, as you can see here, this is the it's either the spur gear or the rear pulley. I'm not sure, but it is in plastic. Now this is the rear pulley, and it's in plastic, and this is the rear spur gear, and it's in plastic. You have the solid axle pulley, that's in metal. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not gonna update like the front wing. I'm just gonna use the front bumper. I'm just gonna use what comes with the car. I know a lot of people prefer the bumper that's in the 990 Evo Nitro kit, but that was sold out, not in stock. Also, I see people maybe gonna use the new, more flat shocks, so you can buy the parts you need to use the new shock mount. But they call it a more flex shock mount. I think the car have more flex with that if you use that mounting and not this middle bridge carbon fiber part, then you have more flex in the car, and I'm sure that will help the most experienced drivers. But I'm not driving on this perfect driving tracks where I'm driving at crazy high speed and get this high speed in the corners. So I don't think I need that. I don't think I'm gonna feel that either, because I'm not an experienced driver. So I'm just gonna start off this and see how it goes. And later I will buy the spare parts I need from Serpent when I start breaking parts. So this is the kit, but the kit is just the chassis, what they call it. So we also need some other stuff, you know, to get this car up and rolling. So the other parts I have here. So let's see if I can get this off the table. Pull it back there. I don't have much space in my hobby room. So we have a body here, a 1/8-track body that I'm gonna cut out and paint. I think I'm gonna have this light blue theme on this. And then we have the electronics. Yeah, this is the paint I use, and I use a simple brush. I don't use spray. And it, as I said, on some distance everything looks okay. But I want a light color because some dark color can be a bit hard to see when you're driving on like a dark asphalt. So I like a bit light color. So I'm gonna mix some blue and some white and get this light blue color. I also maybe gonna try to have the car a bit lighter in the front and a bit darker to the area. Some transition effect. This is the electronic I'm gonna use. I'm not using the pro level, what it's called again, the Hobbywing XR Pro, or what they call it. Because these electronics, they are a bit more waterproof, and also this motor can is closed. On the other XR8 typical, they use the 2800 kV, but that's an open can, so you are more in danger for getting some small rocks or dust or sand or whatever into the engine. And this is a closed can, so I prefer this because I don't have a perfect smooth and clean track to drive on, and it's fast enough really. And I used this combination before, and the heat was not a problem, not the issue. I drove for 7 minutes straight, and it was no trouble with heat. So this is an EzRun Max 8 G2. I know they now have a G3 edition, but I bought this G2 because I think the G3 is going to be more expensive, and I don't think the G3 will give me any more power, really. And also the new G3 have a Wi-Fi or Bluetooth in the power button, or what they call it. With this I can use the regular Hobbywing card to change the settings. So I prefer this really. I don't think I will benefit that much from the G3 edition. But this G2, it comes with some bigger condensators. I remember I used also the G1, but that was not a good combination for on-road because it was too hot, so it switched off when it got too hot. But this combination I've used before, as I said, in a GT car, 1.8 GT car, and I think I also used this EC in the, I had the Serpent Viper 989 and used this EC, but I used another, not this motor, another motor. I think it was a 2250 kV motor, but okay combination, I would say. And you also have to have some wire because you use two 2S batteries in what they call it in series. So we have to have some wire to connect the minus to the plus from one battery to the other battery. Also, I had some, these are what they can stick onto the body to stiff it up a bit. And then we have a servo, and this is power holder D15. I think this will have enough torque and speed. It says 16.5 kilo on 7.4 volts, and the speed is 0.095. Yep. So I guess, and also you have to, if if I think I'm right when I'm saying this. This is you see, it's the short size servo. It's not full size, regular size. So it's not so tall. It's a bit smaller in size. I believe you have to have this type of servo. I could be wrong, but this servo is strong enough anyway, so that's okay. And I have a receiver, and I also have a servo horn. I'm not sure if this is the right servo horn I need, but I bought this Hoodie. It's 25 tooth because the servo power hood is 25, and it's have 3 holes, so I think I will find the right distance there. Also, I like to use this JR Racing battery plugs. It comes with both 4mm and 5mm, and I'm using 4mm. And I have to buy 2 sets because one of the sets I'm gonna connect to the ESC, and the other I'm gonna use with the cable, so I can connect the batteries in series. Yes, I always have to think about sometimes is it series or is it parallel, but I think the right is series. So 2S batteries becomes 4S. So that's all stuff I have, and also of course you have to have a batteries, and you have to have a charger and a transmitter. But as I said, I'm gonna spend some. It's gonna take me some time to build up this car because my son is taking most of my spare time now. But I hope I can make this car finish in some yeah, maybe a few weeks or maybe a month even. I at least hope to have this car finished this summer, so I can take it out and drive it sometimes. So I'm gonna come back when I think I'm not gonna make videos when I'm building this kit, because it's already something in the YouTube and it's not that interesting. But I can come back when I have either assembled the complete car, or when I have assembled the kit before I start to build and I set in the electronics. And if I find something worth mention, I can talk a bit about that. What more to say? I'm not sure. I built the 989E before, so this is upgraded, of course. Something is new and something is the same, I guess. Not a very big difference, maybe. But I sold the 989E, but I missed the car really, because it's a very fun car to drive. Very good performance. It got very sharp corner radius, so you can make very sharp turns. And if you set up the car correctly, especially you have to get the down stop, the ride height, and camber and tow correctly, especially the camber in the rear, and you drive on a okay asphalt location, it sits very good in the corners. As I talked about in an older video, try not to use the brakes, because if you use the brakes in the corner a bit too hard, you will see the rear end comes out very easy. So if you use the brakes, try to use the brakes when you are driving straight before the cornering, and be very gently, very lightly on the brake. Again, if you brake too much, the rear end will just come out, flip out like that. So what you really do, you try the car a few laps and you see how much traction do you have, and then how much speed can you have, and try not to use the brakes at all. Just release the throttle a bit before the corner and try to get the car in a good turn. And if it's a very sharp turn, of course use the brakes, but use the brakes before the corner, and try to use the brakes lightly. So the 989 was a very fun car to drive, also when I just drove alone and was practicing. So that's why I had to buy a new of these, and this car I'm not gonna sell. This I'm gonna keep. So I come back when I built it, and of course I come back when I start to test drive this car, and hope I will find some okay place to drive it. As I said, the camber in the rear is very important to get the car to sit on the asphalt with good traction. The default setup, I'm not sure. I think they have 2.5 or maybe even 3 degree camber in the rear, but that's too much for me, because as I said, I have not a perfect track to drive on, but I can drive at crazy high speed, also in the corners. Then you really need the good, the high 2.5 and 3 degree camber in the rear. When I'm driving on asphalt, the traction is not that very good. Also, I'm not driving at this very crazy high speed in the corners because the traction is not that good. And then I also don't need the 2.5 3 degree camber, because the car will not shift, or will not what is called, not flex that much. It will not twist that much in the corners. So when you drive, you will find that most of the rear tires are in contact with the asphalt if you have less camber, not 2.5 to 3 degree camber. So I think I remember I had about 1 degree camber in the rear. That was giving me most traction where I was driving and with the speed I was using. So that's it. But then if you moves on and you visit a really good high traction track later, just remember to change the setup so it fits the conditions. So that would need more camber. And also, if you see the guys driving on different tracks, if it's more left turns or more right turns, you also adjust the camber, and you can set the camber a bit different on the left and the rear wheel. Yes, so that's it. But I come back when I finish building the kit, or maybe even building the car, and I can talk about the build. Yeah, that's all. Bye bye.